Hi everyone, I'm Ziyu Zhao, a second-year MRP student at Cornell University. Here is my project partner, Xiao.
Hi, I'm Xiao Tan, also the second-year student of MRP program.
Yeah, so we are a student team from Cornell University City and Regional Planning Program. And in the Spring Economic and Community Development Workshop, we did this research topic supervised by Professor Warner. And our topic is equity planning in China, focusing on education. So common prosperity as an equity planning under Chinese context, it is a process of co-construction and shared development to improve the quality of life for everyone. It can be divided into two parts as I showed in the graph on the right. First, prosperity means making the pie bigger. Then common means sharing the pie. The goal under common prosperity includes achieving basic service equalization, reducing the income gap, and rebalancing regional development. And Zhejiang province, as shown in the map, has been chosen as a pilot zone in 2021. Besides that, common prosperity is also a new priority for economic development. There are several institutional changes in the development priority in China since 1949. After 1949, China adopted a planned economy under the leadership of Mao, and common prosperity was first mentioned in 1953 during the movement of agricultural cooperation. So this movement is about returning the land to the farmers and encourage them to use their land to be a shareholding member of the agricultural production cooperatives afterwards. And after the death of Mao in 1976, Deng Xiaoping, as known as the architect of modern China, he led China through a series of market economy reform and deployed opening up policy. At that period of time, the priority shifted to get rich first. And then, under the leadership of Jiang Zemin, China joined the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 2001. We can see from the graph that after opening up and joining the WTO, China's per capita GDP and urban population skyrocketed. And such rapid urbanization caused significant pollution that affects the health and the quality of life for everyone. Therefore, when Hu Jintao became the country's leader, he emphasized that the importance of protecting the environment and proposed that green China must be the priority. Furthermore, when Xi Jinping became the country's leader, China adopted a new type of urbanization, which more focused on social equity, and a people-centered approach became crucial in economic development. Specifically, in 2021, since China has eradicated extreme poverty, common prosperity became the new priority for economic development. And common prosperity is also a new path elevating rural prosperity. In Chinese context, urban and rural is not only about location and built environment, but also about citizenship. The Hukou system, a governmental household registration system, divides our residents into rural and urban citizens in China. So as I said before, after opening up and joining the WTO, China per capita GDP skyrocketed. However, rural areas lagged behind during the 40-year robust economic growth. We can see from the graph on the right that the income difference between urban and rural, so the pink one is urban and purple one is rural. So you can see the income difference dramatically increased in the past 2 decades. And as we mentioned before, one goal under common prosperity is to equalize basic service. So before we do that, how unequal it is, what factors create the disparity, and what solutions have been taken or need to be taken. First, how unequal it is. Using the education service as an example, in Chinese context, urban and rural is related to 2 different citizenships, as I said, and with huge gap in education service. If we look at the chart shown on the right, at the national level, 3% of teachers in urban areas have master's degree, while only 0.4% of teachers in rural area get a graduate education. And around 76% of teachers in urban area have bachelor's degree, while that number in rural area is only 53%. And in urban areas, 73% of students who graduate from junior high school can actually go to high school, while less than 50% of students in rural area can make it. And taking Zhejiang province, the pilot zone for common prosperity as an example, the graph below in China is China mainland per capita GDP 2021. And the darker the color, the higher the GDP it is. Although Zhejiang is relevantly wealthier than other provinces across the country, which means they're supposed to have a more balanced education service, there is still great gap. Taking teachers' quality as an example, 28% of teachers in urban area have master's degree, while only 1% of teachers in rural areas can do that. So what factors create such disparity? Several reasons include service responsibility transfer, insufficient transfer payment from higher level government, and obstacles in Hukou system. To illustrate, before 1986, central government fully provided public facilities based only on residential union, and the service including housing, education service, medical care and healthcare, extra and extra. Since 1986, the responsibility was fully transferred to local government, which means local governments need to fully provide 9-year compulsory education, means primary school plus junior high school. And the rural residents could not get high quality education because of insufficient tax revenue and insufficient transfer payments from higher level government. Also, the Hukou citizenship limits rural citizens to get education in urban areas. So during this period of time, the education disparity between urban and rural increased dramatically to 2005. So in 2005, to equalize education service, all levels of governments began to share education expenditure, and more policy measurements have been taken in recent years to achieve common prosperity goal. So what actions have been taken? I will let Xiao to explain.
Yeah, the actions to improve the education equality between rural and urban area can be divided into 3 categories. First, improve the rural education. Second, support rural migration children. And third, increase transfer payment. To improve the rural education, the government encouraged the flagship urban school to form a community with a disadvantaged rural school to share the education resource. For the school in the same county, the collaborative schools share the same teaching training, teachers, research opportunity, and performance assessment. For schools in different counties, the collaboration mostly through the internet. Besides, the government set the same standards for both urban and rural area now to avoid rural schools fall behind. Also, the eco-development has added into performance appraisal. The central government requires each county to evaluate the coefficient of difference among compulsory education schools. Low coefficient is one of the development target of the local government. Thus, the officials in the local government have more incentive to promote the eco-development instead of only enforcing the best one. The support to rural migrant children include eliminating structural obstacle of rural migrant children to access the basic education and expand service population to permanent residents, so that rural migrant children can enjoy same education as the urban children. Besides, the easier process of having urban residency enable more rural migrant children directly change their residency to urban and enjoy same service. Additionally, in terms of financial support, the central government adds more weight in transfer payment to rural area, and it requires provincial government to update the transfer payment mechanism. The provincial level transfer payments can more precisely locate the money into lead counties. And then after some policy has been applied for several years, the rural area enjoys much more financial support than before, even outweigh the urban expenditure in terms of per student. Currently, the physical environment and facility between the rural and urban school is minimized. Rural school even have better performance than urban school in some index, such as book per student and the number of computer for teacher. In Zhejiang province, the coefficient of difference between the school of compulsory education at county level is smaller than 0.3, which is one of the best score among all provinces in China. Also, 98% of new school reaches the construction standard regardless rural and urban location. I will pass the reflection to Ziyu.
Yeah, so our reflections are as follows. First one, institutional changes are needed. So as I said before, difference in tax revenue is maybe the most crucial reason that causes the inequity in education service between urban and rural. However, tax system remain untouched based on current policies. So we think more institutional changes maybe contribute to achieve the goal, and urban and rural should have new revenue mechanism to ensure balanced fiscal income resources and to provide more balanced education service. And then, although current policy has encouraged transfer payment to a certain extent, it still accounts for only a small proportion of total education expenditure for local government, which means local government still take most of the pressure. We think as long as the difference in fiscal power exists, a disparity in basic education service may not decrease. And secondly, since the expenditure and facilities equipment Shell has mentioned for compulsory education between urban and rural are relevant equal, we think more focus should be attached to teachers' quality and high school enrollment. Notably, teacher salary is the largest expenditure of local government for basic education, but there is little financial support for central government to cover this expenditure. So that's it. That is our research project. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, here is our contacts. Please welcome to reach out. And if you want more information, like more detailed information, you can check the website. There you can find more if you want. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. Bye.